Okay, so in this video, we're gonna look at some common mistakes when playing in the open guard in Jiu Jitsu. When you're learning, what we typically see is legs that are too extended. And what happens is that you disconnect your elbows from your knees. You see most of the time, whether you're in the seated guard or you're on your back, you'll see people that are good at Jiu-Jitsu, everything's in really tight, so there's no space. You won't see a lot of space between the elbow and the knee, because this is one of the most important frames that I'm gonna have to keep my partner from putting pressure on me. So if Adam comes to the side and puts weight on me, you're gonna see that this connection keeps him from getting tight. So if he drops to his knees, I have this elbow and knee connection, and it's easy for me to spin back into my open guard. Okay, so I'm always keeping myself real tight here. The moment I push away with my feet, and I've extended my legs, it's not gonna be too difficult for Adam to go either direction and pass around my legs. And now it's difficult to bring my knee in, and I have to use a lot of movement and energy to get my knee back inside. If I keep my legs in, I always have these good frames here the entire time. So I keep my elbows and knees in tight, and I can start looking for grips, and I can keep this inside position much better, and I can look to go under and inside my partner's legs as well. So the first big rule is not to extend your legs. The other thing is, if you notice my legs, my leg bones are externally rotated, okay? So the bone of my leg can either go in or out. And in most guard positions, you want your leg to be externally rotated so that you can see my foot makes a hook. Okay, if my leg is up, it's hard for me to do much with my right foot, and my legs can get pushed together. So if my legs are rotated out, you see how my legs are out, I can hook behind the legs, I can pull my partner. I can also push a lot easier. So I can push and pull much easier with my legs externally rotated than if I bring them in together. Now my legs are pinned together, and I can get my guard passed in many different ways. Okay, so there's a lot of trouble that you're gonna get into. And this happens a lot. What I see that this happens is people enter into different versions of open guard. It could be like two hands on the wrists, let's do it this way, and a foot on the hip, which is a real common guard, but the left foot won't be externally rotated enough, so you won't have very good push on the hip. And then this foot will also be rotated in instead of rotated out, which when it's out, I have a much better kind of push. I can pull the leg, I can block the shoulder. And if I'm going 2-on-1 here, it's important that my leg doesn't stay in, because if my leg gets pushed this way, I lose everything. I have to make sure that my leg is rotated out so that I can keep my partner from just killing my foot here. I could pull him, I could push him, I could put my foot on his shoulder, I could attack his neck, but I want that leg externally rotated and pulled in towards my chest, almost like it's loaded here, right? And now I have a much better position with my leg. So if I go under into an X guard, okay, you're gonna notice in X guard, my legs are also externally rotated. Okay, that way I have a hook on the hip and a hook behind the hamstring, and I have good position with my legs, and I can pull and I can off balance my partner all these different directions. If my legs come in, okay, it's really easy to get your guard passed. Okay, and that's one of the things I see a lot when people are trying to learn X guard, single leg X guard, or they're trying to use more advanced movements like reverse X guard to go into leg locks. Their legs are in the right position, but then their legs start rotating in as they're doing certain positions, and they lose everything. So you want to keep your legs externally rotated when you're playing seated guard, X guard. Almost most of the guards in Jiu Jitsu, you're going to be in those positions. So you're going to tend to find trouble when you start pushing too much with your legs and letting your legs rotate in. And also if you start pushing too much with your arms and trying to use your hands once your partner's gotten around your legs, and then your partner, when you extend your arms, will be able to get in tight to your head. So if you stay in tight with your arms, even when they pass your legs, they can't get very good control of your head. So that allows you to move and bring your legs back inside. But if they get around your legs and you reach with your arms and then they get control of your head too, that's when you're gonna get pinned on the bottom position.